Andronikos III was much more energetic than his grandfather, personally leading the army in his campaigns. After retiring his grandfather to a monastery, Andronikos III set out to save the dire situation in Anatolia. By 1328, the situation had rapidly deteriorated. With only the major cities of Nicaea and Nicomedia left in Bithynia, both of which were under siege by the Ottoman Sultan, forcing urgent action. Andronikos III, with his trusted friend, John VI Kantakouzenos, announced the expedition into Anatolia, aimed at reclaiming lost land and saving the besieged cities. The plan was to link up with the city of Nicomedia, re-establishing control over the region, before marching to relieve the siege of Nicaea. However, the Ottoman leader, Orhan, heard of the expedition and set out to meet the enemy in battle. The two armies met near Pelekanon, with Andronikos III being intercepted before reaching Nicomedia. The numbers of each army are unclear, with some sources claiming Andronikos only had 4,000 men under his banner, compared to the Ottomans' 8,000. Although outnumbered, it can be said that the quality of troops fielded by the Byzantine Emperor were superior to the Turkish host. The Ottomans were led by Osman's son, Orhan, who had encamped the army on a hill, blocking the road to Nicomedia. On June 10th, 300 Turkish cavalry archers skirmished with the Byzantines in an effort to lure them up the hill. However, once the skirmishers were driven off, they refused to go further. The two armies clashed for several days, with the Byzantines withstanding several downhill attacks from the Ottomans. Soon it became clear that the battle had turned into a war of attrition. Being outnumbered 2-1, exhaustion would soon consume the entire Byzantine army. Seeing the unsustainability of the fight, Andronikos III makes a decision to withdraw. The Byzantines begin an organized retreat to the coast. The Turks, seeing this, launch a counterattack. In the intense fighting, the emperor is wounded. Although the Byzantines were able to withstand the onslaught, by nightfall, the news of the emperor's injury had spread, inflicting panic among the soldiers. The Byzantines, with the cover of darkness, continue their retreat, nearing the coast and their ships. The Ottomans become aware of this nightly maneuver and attack once more. By this point, the Byzantines are exhausted and demoralized, finally buckling under the immense pressure. They are routed. The remaining troops who managed to survive escape by sea and return to Constantinople with Andronikos III. The last attempt to restore the lost Anatolian holdings was destroyed in the Battle of Pelekanon. Nicaea and Nicomedia, the heart of Byzantine resistance after the Fourth Crusade, fell to the Ottoman Turks. This marked the end of significant Byzantine rule over Anatolia. If you want to relive this tumultuous period, and perhaps change it for the better, join our Roblox Byzantine group, where you can experience Constantinople and participate in large-scale battles.